everyone, this is Steve at SteveHuffPhoto.com, and I am here today with, guess what? The Sony NEX-5n, the replacement to the huge success from Sony, the NEX-5. The 5n comes out and it brings with it the same body style. Basically, it just says 5n right here. The body looks exactly the same. You still have the true black swivel LCD panel, except this time it is a touchscreen, which is kind of gimmicky. I don't know if I'll ever use it, but some people might like it. You still have your dial, but the dial feels better. It feels a little weighted. It's not weighted, but it just feels better. The button in the middle feels better. It's a different shape. You still have your two programmable custom buttons there. And in the front, you have your shutter button and you have your new two-tone black and silver on-off switch. You see I have the 16mm lens mounted, and I also have the new EVF, the old LED EVF that screws down into the accessory port so it locks on the camera, no problem. I have to say that this EVF is probably the best EVF I've used to date. It's expensive at $349, which is half the price of the full NEX-5n kit with the zoom lens. The zoom lens. But I have to say that it takes shooting the 5n to another level. It's so much better shooting it with the EVF. That's why I'm excited about the upcoming NEX-7 with the built-in EVF. And this works extremely well with shooting manual lenses, like when you put Leica lenses on with an adapter. That works really well. Like, for example, Leica 50 Summilux works really well on the 5n with the adapter. So what I wanted to go over today was, I just wanted to show you a few new things in the menu. Nothing major, but under the hood, the Sony 5n is an improvement. It has the brand new 16.1 megapixel sensor, which has improved low light performance over the old sensor. Also has improved color fidelity. The files from the NEX-5n are very rich, very colorful, and they look great even with the two kit lenses. Okay, so basically what I want to show you with the 5n is the menu improvements, or not improvements, the additions to the menu. Basically, when you hit menu, you have your same screen. You have your shoot mode, your camera settings, your image size settings, your brightness and color settings, your playback, and your setup. If you go to shoot mode, okay, you have the same thing that you had with the 5, all your same selections. Your scene selections, one setting in particular, and here's really cool, the handheld twilight. That was when you can shoot a scene in low light. It will stack a few images together and create a very low noise image for you. Here's a sample of shooting in handheld twilight mode. Okay. The camera processes and it gives you the perfected image. Handheld twilight is very cool. You have your panorama, your sweet panorama, where you sweep the camera from side to side and it automatically stitches your panorama. If you have a 3D TV, you can do a 3D panorama. So that's all very cool. You have your intelligent auto mode for people who don't really know what they're doing. I like to shoot in aperture priority. So then you go to the camera settings. Okay, you can choose your autofocus area, autofocus, manual focus select, object tracking, which will track whatever it's focusing on, digital zoom, face registration, smile shutter. It'll recognize when someone smiles before the shutter fires. Soft skin effect. So basically you have drive mode, single shooting. You can also choose remote control, bracketing, exposure compensation, self-timer, and your continuous shooting all the way up to 10 frames per second, which is pretty insane actually. Your image size, you basically choose your image. What I wanted to show you. You have all kinds of settings for your movies now. I still prefer the 24p in full quality, but some people will like the 60p in full quality, which gives you a very smooth motion. Okay. So that's for the movies. You can choose your aspect ratio of 3:2 or 16:9. Your image size, 16 megapixels. You can choose half at 8. It'll go all the way down to 4. So basically that's kind of the same settings there. Your brightness color settings will give you the metering mode, your white balance, ISO. I always choose auto ISO. Your exposure compensation, your picture effects, which are the new things in here. You have toy camera, pop color, posterization, retro color, high key soft, partial color. You can choose what color you want to show up in the frame: blue, red, yellow, green. High contrast, black and white. Soft focus, HDR painting mode, which gives you auto HDRs. Rich tone black and white, which is kind of like an HDR in black and white. Miniature diorama effect, or just turn it off. So there's a lot of new settings in there for that. Your creative styles are your old standbys, your vivid, your portrait, your landscape, your sunset, your black and white, standard, etc. So then we have playback options, which basically are just playback options, which are simple. Your setup menu, your peaking color, your peaking level. So basically the focus peaking is when you're using manual lenses. I set the focus peaking to high, so that way you can't miss. You will see when you manually focus, say a Leica lens, and when whatever part of your frame is in focus, you will see turn red. It has like red lines. And I choose red because I found it easiest to see out of white, red, or yellow. So I keep mine on red and high. Manual focus assist I keep on, so if I press this button down here, because I have it programmed to enlarge the screen if I need to, but I found with the EVF I don't even need to do that. How long you want the assist to stay on, your color space, release without lens, you want that enabled if you're going to shoot with a Leica lens, otherwise the shutter won't fire. Long exposure noise reduction I keep on. High ISO noise reduction I set to standard. You have your lens comp shading section, which is new. Chromatic aberrations, which is new. Lens distortion, which is new. I leave the lens distortion on auto because it fixes the 16mm and 1855mm distortions. You have an autofocus micro adjust, which allows you to make fine adjustments to the position of the focus. That's new in the 5N as well. Custom key settings. You can choose to set anything to this button, and a right click of that button. So you do have some customization finally. So that's really about it as far as the new additions in the menu. One cool thing about the NEX-5n, NEX-5n, is the battery lasts a long time, way longer than the Micro Four Thirds cameras I've been using. Sony's always pretty good with their battery life. So basically that's about it. This is the NEX-5n. I'm looking forward to reviewing the NEX-7. But this camera right here, in my opinion, is way better than the old 5 in picture quality, in color fidelity, which goes along with picture quality. The ability to take the EVF and low light, high ISO has been improved. So check out the 5N. I am calling it the biggest bang for the buck in the NEX line. I would avoid the C3. It's $50 less than the 5N if you buy it with the 18 to 55 kit, both of them, or the kit lenses. So $50. I would much rather have the metal build quality of the 5N, the better low light performance, the ability to use the EVF, and the better grip. It's kind of a no-brainer. So until the 7 comes out in the next line, this is the guy to get. The 7's going to be $1,200 without a lens, but I feel if the quality is like the 5N, it's definitely well worth it. But for now, at $699 with the lens, this is the guy to beat in the NEX line. Highly recommended. You can see the full written review with tons of samples over at stevehufffphoto.com. And if you like this video and my other videos, be sure to subscribe right here on YouTube, because that always helps me out. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day, and always check back to stevehufffphoto.com. Here's a sample of the focus peaking. I have a Leica lens attached to the NEX-5n, and as I focus, you'll see the in-focus parts of the image turning red. There we go. So whatever's in red is what's in focus. So that's basically how the focus peaking works. And it works really well when you use the EVF as well.